My name is Rachel, and I'm the host of Horror Town Podcast. I've never been afraid of ghosts, which is why I've always taken these things lightly, almost as a joke. Maybe it was my curiosity and acting skills that landed me the chance to host New York's top-rated show, Horror Town, and along with it, quite a bit of fame. But over the past few months, the show's ratings had started to drop. People were tired of the same old worn-out stories, like a woman suddenly appearing in front of a car only to vanish, or hearing cries of a woman no one had ever seen. So this time, I decided to do something truly shocking for the show. I invited the city's most famous actor, Ethan, and arranged a meeting with him before the show. I explained that this time, we wouldn't just be talking. We'd be performing strange acts as if we were seeing these horror events ourselves. I convinced him that acting convincingly was essential to make the audience feel the fear firsthand. Then I spoke with my assistant Mark to set up a truly eerie environment during the show. Creepy sounds, flickering lights, so viewers would feel like it was all happening in real life. Ethan loved the idea and agreed immediately. Finally, the day of the podcast arrived. Ethan, who looked tense on the outside, was actually buzzing with excitement to perform. At last, the official Horror Town theme music played. And I kicked off the show. As usual, I introduced our guest Ethan and explained that he would be sharing some truly horrifying experiences that he had personally encountered. Then, Ethan began recounting events that had, in reality, never happened to him. He told the audience that he had recently gone on a weekend trip with 3 friends to upstate New York, and one night their car broke down. They wandered around, looking for a place to spend the night, when they stumbled upon an old abandoned mansion, an experience Ethan claimed he would never forget. He described how, as soon as they entered the mansion, the lights started flickering on and off by themselves, and at that very moment, the atmosphere in our studio shifted. The lights began flashing violently, and the sound of objects breaking echoed through the room. Ethan, who knew it was all Mark's handiwork, acted genuinely terrified to capture the audience's full attention. Then Ethan said he'd heard the cries of a woman coming from inside the mansion, even though he knew no one had lived there for 100 years. The moment he said it, the crying echoed through the studio, growing louder and louder. I couldn't help but feel thrilled. Mark had nailed it. He'd woven the sound so seamlessly through the speakers that it felt completely real, even though it was all just part of the podcast setup. And then, at the very end, we performed the final act, the one that would make this episode of Horror Town impossible to forget. Suddenly, a girl's scream echoed through the studio, and Ethan and I pretended to faint in sheer terror. And the show ended. The lights came back on. Everything seemed normal again. Ethan and I laughed, amazed at how completely we had fooled the audience. I was thrilled with Mark's work, how he had managed everything perfectly in such a short time. I thought I should call Mark and give him some praise. But the moment I picked up my phone, a message from my manager flashed across the screen, sent 3 hours earlier. Rachel, Mark had had an accident at the studio and passed away at that very moment. My breath caught. The flickering lights, the woman's cries, the scream. Who had caused all of this? No one knew about our plan except Ethan, Mark, and me. I wanted to believe it was a dream, but it was terrifyingly real. I summoned the courage to review the studio recording, and what I saw was far worse than anything Mark could have arranged. Yes, someone, or something, was in the studio that day. Was it Mark's spirit, or a vengeful presence that didn't appreciate our joke?